Hello and welcome back to Girls on Graps. We are on episode 5, I think, but since the official rebrand. We have been gone for a minute because scheduling stuff, live stuff. As many of you saw, Anna isn't able to podcast for the next little while, so we've been figuring it out, working in some guests and seeing how we're going to do the podcast for the next couple of weeks. But we are back, and we have a special show for you guys today because many of you asked us to talk about Stardom, and a lot of the time me and Lexi were not as tapped in, so it's a bit of a struggle, but we committed. We watched the All-Star Grand Queendom pay-per-view from the other day, and we are joined by Adriana to talk about the show for you guys today. So we'll be here for the next 90 minutes, 2 hours, whatever. So please like, subscribe, send super chats if you are feeling generous, and we will do our best to review this show and learn some new things. But before we get into it, Adriana, hello, welcome. How are you?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Doing good.
We're chilling.
We are chilling. But yeah, like I said, it has been a little bit since we've been on for the Sunday show. So Lexi, how are you as well? How has things been?
They've been good. I mean, I've just been working and that's it. Pretty much. Just been working, honestly. Just working. I live an interesting life. Yeah, you know.
Me and you both. That is
you?
pretty much. I've been pretty good. I quit my job recently because of I wasn't getting good amount of hours, so I'm now looking for a new job again, such as my life. Traveling for wrestling shows. Yeah, just ready to learn more about Stardom because that is my goal for the year, especially after the girls had an incredible Mania weekend, and you were at that show.
It was, yeah.
Adriana, tell us a bit about that. How was it like being there live for that?
It was so cool. Literally so cool. Literally, I was like, I don't even care about Mania. I just want to go to Stardom.
That's real.
Because I was like, I have to go to Japan if I ever want to go to a show. And then I did it. So that was pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Love that. And like, I know obviously it being a Stardom show, a lot of people there were Stardom fans, but was the crowd reactions like what you were expecting? Like, were the crowds like really into it?
Yeah, they were. You could tell that like people were like excited to see them because they didn't think they would also have the chance. So like they were pretty loud for them, which was cool. And I'm like, I think I remember it was one of them. They were so like shocked by the noise. I forgot who it was, but they're like so shocked by the reaction. Because you know, Stardom crowds in Japan are like pretty quiet. So
yeah, like compared to like here, especially in Philly of all places too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool. I'm glad that like so many people from the roster got the chance to do that because for a long time they didn't do shows like in America and they didn't come over and work in other promotions. So I am excited for the future of Stardom, especially after watching this pay-per-view because I have found some new favorites. I am invested. I am seated. So we are going to get into it. Did they air the undercard tags or the undercard matches? Because I haven't seen those. But I know there were like a couple of pre-show matches.
There's 2 matches on the pre-show and they're on YouTube. Yeah.
Right. I did not see those, but if you've seen them, is there anything to...
They're like, you could probably skip them.
Fair enough.
Okay. They were alright.
They were openers. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's pre-show matches. We know how those go. So the first match of the actual show was Rina versus Sayaka Karara. Please bear with me with the names because I have not said so many of these names out loud before, so I am learning. And this was for the Future of Stardom title, which I understand is basically the rookies title. So
basically, yeah.
You
have to be under 20 with I forgot how many years of experience.
It's like 3.
I think around 3 probably. I think it is 3 actually.
Cool. I read your guide again earlier because I was refreshing
I feel like I should know that, but
it's all right.
Chat is confirming that it is free. Thank you,
okay,
chat.
Cool.
Very much appreciated. So yeah, I thought that this match was pretty decent for like a rookie showcase. I had never seen either of these wrestlers before, but I thought that Rina, for her age, like you could very clearly see that she was leading this match, which I thought was quite impressive, the way that she was working in it. What did you guys think?
I thought it was pretty fun. Like you know, like you said, like this was actually like my very first time actually seeing both of them wrestle. For me, like, you know, it did a pretty good job at doing like a solid opener. And I'm just really excited. Like, I can't believe Rina's like, you know, that young too. So it's, I don't know. It's pretty cool seeing this. I'm like just tapped in. I'm like, with people, like, I guess not very much knowledge of it going in. And so for me, just going and watching, you know, it's kind of like, I guess, like a casual standpoint. I thought it did what it needed to be done. This is like an opening match, and I liked that. So it was good.
Yeah. Well, I really liked it too. I really like Rina. Rina's been on a great future run. She's so sick. This is like, I forgot what victory she's on, but she's like a couple away from beating the record of this championship. And I think the person who holds the record is her sister too. So there's a good story right there. Yeah, her sister Hanan. She was in the Wonder title match. That's pretty cool. And Sayaka is pretty cool too. I don't know, she's like pretty new to wrestling too, but I love her. She's so based. Like, I don't know if I saw her spear. Her spear is so sick.
Yes, that's good.
I've got that in my notes.
I popped for that. I was like, yo.
She is so sick, dude.
Yeah, I was like, I always hear that Stardom like have great rookies, so it was really cool getting a chance to actually see a couple of the rookies and like the sort of work that they put in. It's like, I don't understand how they already wrestle at this sort of level when they're babies in the business. It's crazy. But yeah, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on Rina, especially. She does seem to be quite the standout. So, the next match was a 6-woman tag. This wasn't for the belts, right?
No, it was Konami's match back. She's coming back full time.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. So this was God's Eye versus Empress Nexus Venus. Yeah. And I forgot to write down the wrestlers for this match.
I have it down, actually.
Cool.
God's Eye was Shuri, Konami, and Ami, Sareee, and then Empress Nexus Venus was Xena, Waka, and then Hanako.
Yes, that makes sense. I didn't think much of this. I didn't think it was necessarily bad, but I don't know, it kind of felt like they were just going through the motions of a wrestling match, and like the standout was Konami, and if that was her return match, it makes sense. It was pretty much a showcase built around her, it feels like. But yeah, I was a little bit confused about the pacing and just the way that they went through it.
Yeah.
It's just a very, like, for me, it's just like an okay match. Like, you know, like you said, since it was her return match, it did kind of feel like what really threw me off about it was just kind of like a little bit of the pacing, I guess. But other than that, like, it wasn't like, it's not like I hated the match, but it was a match that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like the show is like supposed to be like their biggest show of the year. So like to see like just this like I could see this on a house show match. Like that's what it gave. But if it was just to bring, Konami back and reintroduce her, then that's fine. It was okay.
Yeah. I didn't know much about Konami, but I'm excited that she's back full time because she seems fucking awesome. She seems like a great wrestler. So I'd be interested in seeing what she does in the future. Is she a submission specialist? Because that is something that I kind of picked up on.
Yeah, I was like, I have it like that submission she did at the end. I popped for that.
Yeah,
like, okay, that was cool.
Yeah, that was really sick. I don't know how she was looking those in, but she is very impressive. Do you guys have anything else to add on this? I feel like there wasn't a whole lot to get into.
No, it happened.
It sure did. Next up was the Highspeed title match, which I was excited about because I really love high speed matches, and that's kind of what I know Stardom for, is that belt and what the girls can do with that. So in this match, it was Saya Kamitani versus Saki Kashima versus Saya Aida, and what is the last wrestler's name? Because I saw 2 different names and I don't know which is the right one.
Fujiken Death.
Fujiken Death. Okay, because that's what I wrote down. I was just like, I'm not sure if that is the correct one, but okay, that makes sense. The champion went into this injured, which I didn't know and was very confused about when I was first watching the match. I was like, did she like get injured early on? And like I just didn't notice, but no, I looked it up after she went in injured, which is unfortunate because I've heard really good things about her. But outside of that, I think they navigated around that pretty well. There was some funny comedy spots in here, and I'm not the biggest fan of comedy in wrestling, but I think they managed it pretty well. Yeah, for what it was, I thought it was a really fun time.
I like Sareee Kamitani's new gear, the little red gear. It was so cute. Sorry, I had to just mention that. I was just like for me,
no, go for it.
I really like this match mainly because for me, like, my introduction to Stardom, like the one match that I saw that like fully got me invested into like, okay, I'm actually gonna want to watch this was like the Cinderella Journey 2022. I forgot who it was. Starlight Kid
and AZM. No,
yes,
it's Azumi, but
Azumi, yeah, it's okay. But yeah,
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. So for me, like, you know, this is what I kind of know Stardom for because that's what got me. That's what got into my interest. So I thought that was really cool. I like Sareee Kamitani's like new gear. You know, we've always had Anna. I don't know why I said Anna. Anna always talk about how good she is, and I'm just like, okay, I get it. Like, you know, I'm pretty happy with this result. I don't know if that's kind of like a polarized opinion, but I don't know. Yeah, I liked Sareee Kamitani.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I expected Sareee to win, the Kamitani to win. The Highspeed division is kind of weird right now because Saki got injured, which sucks. She had it for like a couple weeks because she won it actually in Philly, where I was.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, she got injured. She's been working around it. She's been doing like the spot she did in this match where she pretends to be a ref. She's been doing that for like a couple weeks. So yeah, to get off her. But I'm excited for Kamitani to hold it because she's not someone who I usually think of Highspeed just because she's been in the main event scene so much. And to see her back, it's pretty interesting. And I'm excited to see how she fares in it and what kind of matches we get up because it's always cool to see like an upper level talent kind of get that belt and bring back some prestige to it because we haven't really had much
elevate it.
Yeah, we haven't had much Highspeed like showcases, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't heard as much about the Highspeed title like in the last like 8 months compared to like late 2022, early 2023. I feel like it was like really on fire and like it was really because that was the belt. Did Mercedes? She didn't wrestle for that belt, but she wrestled people who were quite linked to that belt.
Yeah, Azumi and Hazuki, Yeah, because like y'all said like Starlight Kid and Azumi, like they were part of the Highspeed division and like they made it like they made people want to watch because like every time like people are like what match got you to Stardom? People say that match Azumi and Starlight Kid. And like they've kind of like moved on from that division, so it's kind of taken like a backseat. So
I
want to see some more investment in it.
Yeah, Starlight Kid is someone that like as much as I don't follow Stardom as much as I'd like to, I always keep up with Starlight Kid because I think it was that match that I saw and I just kind of fell in love with her, and I think she's like a really fun, incredibly fun character. So I've just been keeping up with her. But yeah, I thought the closing stretch of this Highspeed title match was pretty fun, and yeah, I'm excited for this new reign, and I do like this is like being my like proper jumping off point, committing to getting into Stardom. I like the fact that there's a new champion I can get invested in, and it'll be easier to follow rather than like having to like pick up and learn things along the way with like every single belt. But that being said, a wrestler that I am familiar with because of she's been working in Ring of Honor and AEW recently, Mina Shirakawa wrestled Natsuko Tora.
Yes.
This faction, is it Stardom's House of Torture?
Yes.
Okay.
That's especially now that we have like a New Japan guy booking the shows. He's definitely like pushing like that kind of like
oh my goodness.
Like
I was baffled.
I was confused. I was watching there. I was like okay.
Like I've really like got invested in Mina as a wrestler through her work in like Ring of Honor and AEW, and I didn't like from like the few matches that I have seen, I don't think this played to her strengths at all, and it was very, very bizarre.
I was very confused.
And the crowd was like, you could hear a pin drop. I was like, do they not care either? Like, what is going on? But I'm glad it's not just me, and that's like just like the general vibe of what happened. Like, I don't know. It was
kind of weird
baffled
because it's like, you have Mina come from like, doing like these little like, with Ring of Honor and like AEW, she'll, well, like she did with me, she like brought new people in to watch Stardom with her.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have her in like this match, and you have her do this segment, and it's just kind of like, okay, like what are we doing, but when you mentioned about the crowd, it was kind of awkward watching it. Like, even whenever I was watching, I was sitting there and I was like, yeah, all right,
Cool.
we're doing this.
Yeah,
Very strange.
it was
Yeah,
very
especially,
weird.
I don't know, because it was a big singles match. We didn't have many like non-title singles matches on the card, so I was like, okay, having Mina on it, this is gonna be like, I thought she was gonna be like beat up Tora and like look strong and then like push her from Forbidden Door, because I think she's gonna be on there, like showcase her. No, that didn't happen. I don't remember anything that happened in this match besides the DQ finish.
Yeah. And I know Stardom works the same sort of way that New Japan does, where they really try to avoid doing DQs unless they absolutely have to.
Yeah.
And in this case, they did have to because of Tecla came back. And this is someone that I do know and I am familiar with. So I was like, oh, shit, she's back. And then she joined the faction that I decided that I don't like. And I was like, yeah, that checks out.
Let's go.
But I am very excited to see what she does on this run. I feel like she's probably going to end up being quite a major player in Stardom. Is that the right sort of vibe?
I think so, yeah. I think so. Especially now that Starlight Kid, spoilers, is out of Voter Tie. There's kind of a need for like someone else. So I think she will be a pretty big deal, which I'm excited for because I love her.
Yeah. I love her. I think she's such a unique wrestler, and I'm very surprised that she hasn't had a Ring of Honor or AEW appearance yet. Because I feel like she's very much the sort of wrestler that would like thrive in that sort of environment as like doing a guest spot. So only time can tell. And Forbidden Door season is coming up. I'm sure we will talk about that after we finish reviewing this show, because of it kind of makes sense too, because of maybe we'll see some implications from this pay-per-view on that show. You never know. But yeah, excited to see Tecla back and full-time in Stardom. And again, I know she's already been there and she's already part of the company in that, but she's in a new era that I feel like I can get fully invested in. So I'm excited for my viewership. But yes, before we go on to the next match, we do have a super chat. Please do keep them coming if you are feeling generous. Whirling Andy, £4.99 super chat. Hell yeah, Adriana. Can't believe you got a legit Cosmic Angels member on the podcast.
Yes.
I met Tam in Philly.
I saw your pictures.
And she was like, do you want to join? Can you join Cosmic Angels? I said,
yes.
Oh my gosh. I love that so much.
Sorry. You're literally, we should have put Stardom All-Star Grand Queendom featuring Cosmic Angels. Yeah.
Yes. That's how we should have branded the podcast. That's so cool though. It seems like such a sweetheart.
They were all so sweet.
Yeah. Love that. Please do keep the super chats coming if you are feeling generous. Next match on the show was, fittingly enough, it was the Cosmic Angels tag match. So it was Natsupoi and Tam Nakano versus Asia Kong and, help me out with the second one because I don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't know this lady either.
No, I don't know.
Okay, so I know the last name is pronounced Ito. So
I'm gonna guess
Kaoru? I don't know.
I don't know much about her.
We all have one collective brain cell, you guys. We're trying.
We're trying our best. But yeah, you guys know which tag match we mean. It was the showcase of the veterans of Joshi Wrestling against like the current stars. That's kind of what the vibe felt like to me. The crowd was super into this. I thought they had pretty good pacing for the length of the match, and you could tell that they were working around some of the limitations because obviously, so like the veterans, they're not spring chickens anymore. Like they've got limited stuff they can do in the ring, but like just watching it, like unless you're looking for that sort of thing, you wouldn't know. Like I feel like they worked around the limitations quite quite well, and Tam and Natsupoi were bumping like crazy. They were putting the work in this, and Aja Kong got the win with the top rope elbow, I believe it was, and it was cool. It wasn't anything special, but it was a cool tag match, and I really enjoyed it. Adriana, what did you think?
Well, Meltier is my favorite tag team, so I was really, I don't know how I felt like leading up to it, because I expected them to do something bigger, but I was like, this is fine. Aja Kong's so sick. I love her. But I thought the match itself was pretty fun. Like you said, Tam and Natsupoi, they were bumping their asses off, trying to make these like old ladies seem,
killer still.
Well, Aja Kong was beast. I don't know about the other lady. She was there. So.
It was a good 2-on-1 match. Yeah,
really good handicap match. Like, props to
so
them.
good. Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was fun. I still enjoyed it though. And Natsupoi, I thought she was going to take the pin, but she didn't. So I was really happy about that. Yay.
Yay. We love that.
I literally put that on my note. I put, at least Poi wasn't pinned. Sad emoji.
Is this a trend in Stardom? Does she get pinned a lot?
No, because like Tam's like a main event star, like main event level. And like Natsupoi's like under her. Like, but she's not like it would be, like if someone was going to take the pin, it was probably going to be Poi. So I was surprised and also happy that it was not her.
Cool. Yeah, this was cool though. I don't know how long Natsupoi and Tam have been wrestling together, but they have great tag teams chemistry.
They're so sick. I don't know how long. It's been a while. They have a lot of history with each other, like even before Stardom. So it's been a while.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Speaking of tag wrestling, I think. Of the undercard matches, this might be my favorite because I just love tag team wrestling, and this match was fucking crazy. But it was for the Goddesses of Stardom belts, which are their tag belts.
Yeah.
So it was Crazy Star who went into the match as champions versus Oedo Tai, and that was Starlight Kid and Ruaka. I forgot to say, Crazy Star is Mei Sierra and Suzu Suzuki, by the way. And then it was also Queen's Quest, which was Azumi and Miyu. And then Stars, which was Hazuki and Koguma.
Yeah.
Cool. I feel like I did well there. That was a lot of names. This was, like I said, the pacing of this, it was just bomb after bomb after bomb. I could not tell you a single spot that actually happened in this match because there was just so much happening constantly. Like, I don't know how they managed to make it all look so seamless because it didn't feel rehearsed, but it was so smooth and like so easy to watch, even though there was so much happening. I love Starlight Kid. Like I said, I have adopted her. She's my little, that's my baby girl, I've decided. And as Adriana said earlier, after this match, she got kicked out of her faction and got saved by someone that I wasn't expecting her to be saved by. I wasn't expecting Tam to come out, so we'll see what happens there. But Crazy Star retained their belts because of Oedo Tai tried to cheat and it backfired. So Lexi, what did you think of the match? How did you feel about this one?
It was really good. Low-key, like I think this is like the first match of like the whole like undercard that I was just kind of like, it was just like sequence after like sequence, and it was just good. Like the whole time I was just like, I couldn't really look away. So I was just like, okay, I'm actually fully investing myself into this. Like I'm actually watching. Like, I don't know. It was good. It was fun, and that post angle with like Starlight Kid, I was just kind of like. I wasn't expecting Tom to be the one to come out and save her, but we'll see how that one goes because I don't know. I don't know if I would. I don't know. Thoughts?
Yeah. Adriana, what about you? What did you think of the match and the post-match angle?
It was pretty good. It was pretty fun. This was more high speed than the actual high speed match.
Yes.
Honestly. Well, it makes sense because like most of the people in the match are kind of like high speed wrestlers. So it was a lot of moving parts that work together really well because like it's a lot of people in this match, but like it didn't feel like too clustered or like too much. Yeah. It was really fun. And as for the post-match angle, I did not expect Tam to come out. The thing is, like a couple weeks before this, Tam's been whispering in Starlight's Kid's her ear on her mask,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it was just her being silly. I was like, I don't think it was gonna go anywhere, but I guess it was. So I don't know how I feel about Starlight Kid and Cosmic Angels. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of weird.
Her whole vibe, I feel like if she was gonna jump factions, I don't know, she's just based off of like watching this pay-per-view and like learning what I've learned about the wrestlers, it kind of feels like she would fit more into God's Eye. I think that's what the faction's called. Yeah. I don't know, she just kind of gives me the vibes that would be the right faction for her, but if she ends up in Cosmic Angels, I would be interested to see where it goes, because is she going to change up her gear, or is she just going to be like is she going to change up her vibes, or is she just going to be like, I don't know, like just like the black sheep of the family, I guess you could say. Like it'll be interesting.
Before she was in Odo Tai, she was in Stars. She was like ultra big face. And then she went to Odo Tai, did a 180. So she can, like, you know, be a good babyface. And maybe she would be a better babyface. I think she needed a heel turn to, you know, show off her charisma. And, you know.
Yeah.
But she is pretty popular. So it makes sense to turn her face.
Yeah.
But it'll be weird to see her in Cosmic Angels. Because they're like, like, they're like idol group, like, cute and stuff. So I don't know. We'll see.
Starlight Kid Starlight Kid idol era.
Oh my god, she should dance. She should come out dancing with them.
She should.
Cute little matching face masks. Yeah.
Oh, that could. Yeah, no, I'm locked in for that. Yeah. I mean, that could be pretty cool. We'll see. Maybe we're being swerved. Who knows?
Maybe.
Right. Before we get on to the next match, because I feel like we're probably going to spend a fair bit of time on this one. We do have another super chat real quick. Kev Bones, $5. We are so back. We'll be watching ASGQ after this. Well, sorry for the spoilers. Thanks for being but yeah, do watch the show in full, because it really was like a great learning opportunity as someone that like really doesn't know a whole lot about Stardom. So I did enjoy the show quite a bit overall. Yeah, thank you for the super chat, Kev. Next match was Mayu Iwatani versus Sareee, and I had seen so much about this match before like I started the pay-per-view, because I watched it a few days late, and it definitely delivered. This match was for the IWGP Women's title, which doesn't get defended in Stardom a whole lot from what I've seen, so
not really.
Clearly they wanted this match to be a big deal. They've got it on their biggest show of the year. It makes sense. There was this. Sareee is like on a Wrestler of the Year run right now, and her performance in this match was just incredible. Like, Mayu's obviously incredible and has been forever now, but Sareee, ever since she left WWE, she has been on an insane run, and her in-ring presence and like her in-ring IQ is just insane, and the way she commands the audience and the way that her and Mayu were working together, like the suplexes they were doing in like the closing stretch of this, and the head buzz, and I loved this match. I genuinely think this could be like match of the year. I think it's in my top 5 at least. Yeah, go for it.
This was just like a 5-star like CTE classic. I love this. It was so good. Like, I love Mayu. Like, okay, I saw Mayu versus Stephanie Baker live with the New Japan, the Lone Star show. And that was like, I remember the crowd was so invested into it then. And like, in that moment, I was like, dude, Mayu is such a star, because it's like, it was kind of like at an awkward point where it's just like with the New Japan, like the Strong show that I went to, was just kind of like an awkward point where the crowd was just kind of like dead, like, you know, doing their thing or whatever. And then like Mayu and like Stephanie were able to do like bring this crowd back to life. And for me, that just kind of solidified like Mayu is like the best wrestler like ever.
Yeah.
I love her so much. So like watching this, like I was literally pacing around. Like I watched it earlier this morning. I was like pacing around my living room. I was like, dude, this makes like for me like Danielson and Osprey looks like little boys right now.
Yeah, that's like child's play.
That's child's play. Oh my goodness. I can't even go into like it was so good. I really enjoy this. I think that I'm like this might be like my match of the year so far. With you know, it's just good.
I love this match so much. I already knew I was gonna love it. Like as soon as they announced it, I was like, "Whoa!" Because like I never expect to see Sareee in Stardom, but it was a very welcome surprise when she did show up. So and then to be facing Mayu in a singles match, literally so cool, and like oh my god, like they're just like period just best wrestlers in the world right now, and then to have them just on a one-on-one match. Oh my god, like this is why we watch. Like this is real wrestling right here. I was so happy. And the headbutts are crazy. Them headbutts at the end, I was like, wow.
Yes.
Holy.
I was like, girls, like what is going on? Like in Saree's like the bottom rope drop kick. Like she was taking Maya's head off. Like they were putting their all into this, and it paid off because of the crowd was super into this. Like I was super into this. Like it has gotten rave reviews from literally anyone I've seen that's watched it. I don't know, man. That Bryan Danielson, you may not be wrestler of the year. I don't know, man. Real. You've had some classics against Osprey and Zack Sabre Jr. in the last couple of months, but man, I don't know. This match was just different. And I thought, like, they really built the pace really well here. Like, it just flew by. Like, it was like, what, 20, 25 minutes, something like that? And it did not feel like that.
They're so violent and hard-hitting. Like, that's my favorite kind of wrestling, women's wrestling, when they just kick the shit out of each other. Like, oh my god, it's so good.
It's just girls being girls.
Literally.
Just girls being girls.
Just girly things, you know? CG headbutts.
And there wasn't a title change here because Mayu retained. Do we know what's next for Mayu? Or because I was kind of skipping through the show because I didn't have that much time to like watch the whole thing in full, so no one came out to confront her, right?
They did.
They did. Oh, I missed this.
I don't know how to say her name because she is an Ice Ribbon, and I don't watch Ice Ribbon. I don't know much about her, but I've heard very, very good things. I don't know how to say his name. Tatsuka Fujimoto came out, and she's from Ice Ribbon, I think. And she's like a legend in the business, I think.
Here we go. See? Fujimoto is a legend in Joshi wrestling. She debuted in 2008. Wow. Handpicked by Minami Toyota to be her successor. She's my favorite of all time. Incredible. Thank you for that. I will have to educate myself before this match ends up happening. Do we know when that will be, or
she came out and she mentioned Arisa Nakajima, who's retiring this year, and they're going to be having a tag match against Mayu and someone. I don't know yet who yet.
Wow.
So that should be cool. I'm really excited for that, especially for the Nakajima to be involved. She's cool.
Yeah.
I do like her. I've watched
I have heard about her.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Indeed. I will be on the lookout for whoever Mayu ends up tagging with, because what faction is Mayu in?
She's Stars, the leader of Stars.
She's leader of Stars.
I think it's gonna be
Shuri. Do you have any guesses? Yeah.
I think Shuri. I don't really have. Shuri's not even in Stars, but she says she would want to be. I think I read that she says she wants to be a part of the match, and like they had her and Mayu had a really good match of the year contender at the beginning of the year. I can see it happening. I think it should be Shuri.
Sounds good to me. I do like Shuri quite a lot, so it'll be interesting to see. I will definitely be keeping a lookout for that. We do have another super chat, so I will go to that real quick. Lexi, are you good?
I was drinking water.
Fair enough. Okay, so Iswa Locum, $4.99 super chat, thank you. Alexia, it seems like you're an expert. What is your favourite chip flavour? I think there's been a little bit of rustling. Charlie, what is your favourite Stardom match from last year? Oh my god. That you are asking quite the question, because I did really not watch all that much Stardom last year. What did I watch? Jesus. Adriana, what was your favourite match from last year? Just whilst I look at my old spreadsheet and see if I have one in here.
Let's see. It'd probably be Hazuki versus Saya Kamatani. What show was it? Oh my god, it was a I forgot what show it was on, but Hazuki versus Saya Kamatani for the white belt. So good, love that match.
Sounds good. I honestly don't think I have one. I can't even find my spreadsheet. I'm sorry that I don't have an answer for that. I'm going to be going back and watching some stuff so I can be more educated on Stardom. So come back in like a month and I might have an answer for you. Lexi, do you have an answer at all?
I was thinking about that. I narrowed it down to two of my favorite chips. The Ruffles, the hot cheddar ones, like the I really like those. And then there's these they're like Mexican chips. They're like habanero flavored, but they're so good. I just love spicy stuff. But yeah, that is my favorite chip flavor. I think that is the question, unless we're talking about another type of chip. But
no.
Okay, because I'm always eating on the podcast, Adriana. That's kind of like the lore. I'm always watching. Okay. So yes.
Right, let's see. And we have another super chat. Darnism 199, thank you. Sareee and Mayu are 1A and 1B for Wrestler of the Year. You won't hear any arguments from me after that match. I do tend to agree. So we are getting into the last couple of matches. The next match was for the Wonder of Stardom belt, which is the white belt. So this was, bear with me with the names because I've never said this one out loud, so I don't actually know how to pronounce it. Who's the champ? Do you know how to pronounce the champion?
Saori.
And then Ano, maybe?
I think Saori.
That sounds right.
That feels right to me.
Sounds right. It feels right. Chat, please do let us know because we are doing our best.
Yes, thank you, Lincoln. Just Saori.
Saori. And she came into this match as champion, and she was facing Hanan, who is my new favorite rookie. And holy shit, this girl is 19.
Yes.
She's been wrestling for 7 years. And she's wrestling like that. Like, genuinely, I think that if they had gotten, like, maybe 4-5 extra minutes, this might have surpassed the other match for me for, like, my favourite match of the show. Because I was genuinely blown away by Hanan and the way that she wrestles. Like, she has a really cool drop kick. Like, the leg drop that she did off of the apron, like, to the outside. Like, they were, like, battering each other. Like, they weren't holding back in this match. Like, like I said, I am genuinely baffled by the level of quality of wrestler in Stardom that are such young, like at such young ages. And like, I don't know whether these guys had like a really big build up to this match, but it felt like there was like some genuine animosity between them at times, and like they were like really hammering each other. And I don't know, man. Hanan was robbed. I think she should have won. I don't know anything about the build to this. I don't know anything about Sareee as champion, but I was ready to see a title change.
Basically, Hanan won. They have like a little not Robin style, like just a tournament. It's called the Cinderella tournament earlier this year. It's like one of their biggest tournament things, and she won, and she had to come out in a pretty dress and crown, very cute. And she wanted to fight for the Wonder Belt. So that's how this match came about. So there was a pretty good build up to it. And yeah.
Cool. What did you think of the match?
I loved it. I did love it. Saree's reign has been okay. She's only faced Starlight Kid, I think. Right. And that match was just okay. And then the way she got the title was with beating Mirai. And that was just okay. So I was kind of waiting for like the match that would like take it over the top, and I think this one did. And even though Hannah lost, I think it did a lot for her because like she's just now breaking into like the main event, upper main event like scene. So this match kind of just showed why she belonged to be here. Like she's only 19, but she's like making big moves, and she's gonna be like the future of the company one day. Like I can see her like being like Mayu's successor and stuff like that. And she like you could tell like she's in the same faction with Mayu, and you can tell like just the way like
a lot
they
of
wrestle and stuff like and like the baby face aspects of everything. She's taken a lot. She's learned a lot from her. So I expect a lot of big things from her.
Indeed. Lexi, how did you feel about this match?
It was good. I liked it. I kind of like thought at first, kind of like, you know how at Dynasty we were talking about Bryan Danielson and like Will Ospreay, and you know everyone was just kind of talking about like what do you have follow this. So kind of for me, it's like for the Mayu Sareee match. I was thinking, I was like, it's kind of like they were kind of put it like in an awkward or like tough spot where it's like you have this really awesome match, and like you could tell kind of like at the beginning of the match the crowd was just kind of like quiet, like everyone was just still coming down from like, you know, the previous match before. But I think they did a really good job at investing like the crowd back up, like, you know, Hanan having like building up the crowd behind her. And overall, like you could tell like now that like I didn't know that, you know, she was kind of like, I guess Mayu was like her mentor, but now that you mention it, that you could see like a lot of similarities, like in the way like they like she works, the way she just kind of like makes you feel. And I liked it. It was good. I think what surprised me the most is how like, or not surprised me the most, but what I liked the most was how the crowd was like, you know, invested back into it after, you know, being blown away by this previous match before.
Yes. Yeah, I am real locked in for Hanan and whatever she's got going on in the future, because I don't know, man, she was incredible in this, and I want to see her wrestle Athena now, because I think they could have a fucking incredible match. So I am hoping for the best for her, and yeah, man, get a belt on her. That's my main takeaway. I feel like she could have an incredible title reign. Like, so I will be watching more matches from her. I think I'm going to go back and watch the Cinderella tournament because of Scott, who does a Stardom podcast. He was saying earlier that she had a great run in that, so and that it's worth going back to see. So I believe that will be my homework for the next couple of weeks. Do you guys have anything else to add on that, or are we good to talk about the main event?
Oh, I wanted to talk about after the match, Natsupoi came
out.
out.
Yes, I did. I forgot to put that in my notes, but I remember seeing your tweets about this as well. So go for it. I know Natsupoi's your girl.
Yay! After the match, Natsupoi came out because basically Natsupoi, like as soon as Sareee won the belt, Natsupoi's like, I'm gonna be the one that takes it off of you. So like that's why I thought like Hanan wasn't gonna win, because like, well, Natsupoi still needs to take the belt off of her. So that's kind of why I was like, I don't think Hanan's winning. So Natsupoi came out. And then I was like, okay, we're getting the match. I'm so excited. And then Ami, I don't know how to say her last name, but Ami Sareee came out. And I was a little sad because I was like, okay, it's an extra hurdle. So I think we're having a number one contenders match between Natsupoi and Ami down the line, and then they'll face Sareee later. But it's okay as long as Poi. Yeah, as long as Poi gets the match down the line, I'm all good. It's all good.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool. Has Natsupoi held one of the big two titles before?
No, she's only held like she's held the Highspeed. Has she held the Goddess? I should know this. The Goddess. No, not the Goddess. The Artist and the Highspeed. But she's never held the white belt or the red belt. So like the white belt's been like her dream for like a while.
Yeah. Cool. I am rooting for her because she is becoming one of the wrestlers that I like a lot. So rooting for Natsupoi to get that match and get the win. So main event was Maika, who came in as the World of Stardom champion. That's the red belt. And she was facing Momo Watanabe. And these are two wrestlers that I am familiar with, so I was excited for this. Over Mania weekend, I really fell in love with Maika. I thought that she has such a cool vibe, and she just seems like a really great wrestler. So I went back and watched a couple of matches. Please don't ask me what they were because I won't be able to tell you. I can't remember. She, like, I really love her style of wrestling, so I was excited for this. And then it was just kind of weird.
Yeah.
I think that the first fall was like when it was just a straight up wrestling match. Thought it was great. I thought they had really great chemistry, and they were just scrapping. Like, they got into it immediately, and Momo hits hard. Like, she was not holding back. Like, she was really laying in her shots. But the second fall really killed the atmosphere, and it felt kind of lifeless, and I didn't really know like what the point of doing that type of match was. I feel like if they wanted to do 2 out of 3 falls, maybe doing something with submissions maybe would have fit better. And I feel like that really like played into the fact that the last fall, the last woman standing, like it was that like there was flashes of like really good work in there, and I did enjoy what they were doing, but it felt rushed, and like they couldn't really play into the fact that they were just hitting like big move after big move after big move. Like, it felt like they were rushing through some of the spots. But the Michinoku driver looked fucking incredible, which was like my main takeaway. But yeah, overall, not my favorite match of the card, but Micah retained, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of this one?
Yeah.
Best.
The first fall, like just regular match, so good. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
If it was just that, they just had a regular match, I would be like, great.
Yeah.
Second fall, not as good. It was hardcore.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's fine. It was okay. And third fall was like the worst one for me. It was last one standing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I just didn't feel, it just felt very lifeless. Like there was no intensity. I didn't really believe.
Yeah.
I didn't really believe in it. I don't know. It just fell flat, which was sad. And I expected Ode Tai to interfere more.
Yeah.
I was like, where were they? They did not care for Momo.
They were just minding their business.
I was like, they did not care to help her win. So,
No.
Yeah. I feel like
it was a fine match. Like, if it was just the beginning, I would love it. But
yeah.
okay.
The stipulation, like, I think hurt the match more than anything, especially with like the placing of like the last 2 matches.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird. Like, I did enjoy like, you know, the very first pin, but then after that it was just kind of like, okay, what are we doing? Where are we going? What's happening? You know, it was just kind of like, and it kind of sucks because it's like, I like Micah. I don't know much of Momo to be like, oh, you know, but I know I've watched a couple of Micah matches before, and so I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
Also, the previous 2 matches I enjoyed personally a lot more than the main event.
Same.
So it's just there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they did. It suffered from the fact that the 2 matches before were such high quality. And if, like, I genuinely think if Micah and Momo had just wrestled a straight up match, they would have, like, matched that level, and it wouldn't have, like, no one would have questioned why that was the last match on. Like, I know, I was doing a bit of research on it, and I know the red belt and the white belt are considered on the same level, but the red belt almost always main events the shows. So it makes sense that it was asked, but like, because of like the match wasn't as good as the others, like it's made people question like the order of the card and stuff. But I don't know. Like, I feel like if they had just wrestled the first fall and that they just added like 8 minutes into that and it just had a normal match, it would have been great. So, but I don't know, man.
They didn't play up to the hardcore stipulation as much as I thought they did.
Yeah.
Like, they brought out colored glass. I was like, okay, what are we doing here?
I thought those were Legos.
No,
I thought they were games. So like,
those would have been better, honestly, because the glass shards just look silly to me. I was like, just do thumbtacks, do something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't as intense or as violent as I thought it would be. Because I was like, what's the point of the stipulations? Just do a regular match.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know, because they had good chemistry as well, but it just wasn't clicking in that stipulation. So, but things happen sometimes. Did anyone come out to confront Micah? Do we know what's next for her?
Nope. She just got her promo, and then that's it. I'm surprised no one came out, but
yeah.
End of the show, which is nice.
Yeah. But overall, I'm deleting notes. Whoops. Overall, I actually really enjoyed this show. From what I've seen, it didn't reach the heights of last year's All-Star show. I need to go back and watch that one because I talk about how incredible that show is all the time. Mayu versus Sareee, easily match of the night because of course it was match of the year, honestly. Yeah, and I've found some new favorite wrestlers, and I'm pretty invested in Stardom now. So I'm glad that I was able to watch the show and do this review, because I feel like I've learned a lot, even just talking to you about it, Adriana. I feel like I've learned a lot about Stardom that I didn't already know. Lexi, what were your thoughts on the show overall?
It's pretty fun. Like, I think this is actually like I've gone back and watched, like, you know, matches here and there, but I think this is like the first one that I've actually sat down and fully watched, like, from the beginning, like the pre-show matches to like the main event. And overall, like, I did like it. I'm definitely gonna have to go back and, like, you know, watch the Mayu match again, just because it was so good. Like, I can't even, like, put it into words how much I was just like, there's like a point where I was just like, standing in front of the TV, like with my arms crossed, just like yeah, like I was like so locked into this. So it's like, to be able to do that, like, you know, or to like watch like this, like that, it was just it was fun. It was good. I'm like already tripping over my words. I just don't know how to describe it. For me, it was just like such a fun match. It's such a fun show too. Like, there was a couple, like, you know, duds here and there, but like I didn't like you know, lower the whole image of the pay-per-view for me. I overall just liked it. It was fun. I think, like, for this being like the biggest show of the year for them, though, it was just kind of like, it could have been a little bit better, but it's not saying that it was bad. But I enjoyed it. It was good.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Adriana? What were your main takeaways from this, and with this being the biggest show of the year? So
I think with this kind of roster, it's kind of hard to have a bad show. I think the talent is what can make a show good. That being said, the booking and like the card choices leading up to it, it was kind of rough, because like last year's, like, I look at the card, I'm like, whoa, so many like cool matches and moments and people on the card. And I guess with the whole Rossi stuff and people leaving, that kind of put them in an awkward position. They didn't know who was going to stick around and who like invest in, and like who they could, you know, they could put on the card come in a few months. So that definitely probably hindered them some. But I still think with who they had, it was an okay show, the card wise. But it's fine. It was still a good show, though. That's the thing. It was still a good show. It was still enjoyable. Could it have been bigger? Yeah. Maybe next year, once they, you know, they're like, with the new bookers, they have it, you know, under control. Maybe next year will be bigger, but for what it was this year, it was fine.
Yes, I do agree. So we normally go about 90 minutes at least, so we're going to have some time. I just want to talk about Stardom in general for a little bit, because of, like, I've made it very clear in this episode, I am very, very new to actually watching the promotion and like getting to know the wrestlers and finding favorites, all that sort of stuff. So I just wanted to ask you, what's the easiest way to like get to know some of like the rosters and some of the roster and the factions and that? Like, are there any key shows from like the past like year you think that like people should go back and watch, like if they're new to the promotion?
I definitely think watching All-Star Grand Queendom from last year is a good starting point. I always recommend that show just because it's Stardom like at their best. I think pay-per-view wise, I don't know if there's any pay-per-views that I would recommend. I definitely think maybe like checking out like the 5-star tournament is also a good place, because you get to see a bunch of solo matches and wrestlers at their best, and like I think they have a time limit, so a 15-minute time limit, so you get to see a bunch of wrestling and a bunch of wrestlers, and that's a good way to get to know them. Don't know how else. I think just watching the shows, honestly.
Yeah.
Just because, and just seeing those random, 6-woman tags is also just a good way to get to know them. And, yeah, you get to see, the lower card and, the upper card, and you get to figure out the dynamics there, so I think that's also a good way to see the factions and stuff.
Cool. Makes sense, because Stardom is very faction heavy, and
yes,
I'm not even sure all the wrestlers that I've picked out as I've circled as people that I'm invested in right now. Most of them are in different factions, so I don't know which factions are gonna end up being my favorite. I'm guessing Cosmic Angels is yours, right?
Yes, I love Cosmic Angels.
Yes. So, Lexi, do you have a favorite Stardom faction? I've heard you talk about Cosmic Angels before, but I don't know if you know more about some of them, because I'm not even sure of all of their names, so...
I don't know. I've always really gravitated towards, whenever I first started watching, towards Natsupoi. I always talk to Six about this. I love Natsupoi. So for me, it's always been, Cosmic Angels, and, I know Queen's Quest is pretty good, too. I think those are, the two ones that I'm actually know more of, the wrestlers themselves in the factions, that I'm always yes.
Cool. I'm going to have to do my research and figure out where I'm putting my allegiances. I'm not going to name one right now, because I feel like I'm going to say something and then I'm going to be like, damn. But Stardom, man, they are going to have an interesting year, because as you mentioned, they are under new management, and I guess this show was kind of the culmination of anything that Rossi's booking would have affected, and now it's just kind of a clean slate going forward. So also feels like this is probably one of the better times to get into it, coming off of the back of this show.
I think so.
So I'm excited to see what happens going forward and see where some of these girls pop up, because as we've seen, Mina's already done some stuff in AEW and Ring of Honor, as has Azumi. She had a match against Toni Storm, which got Toni Storm to lock back in as the wrestler. So Azumi might be Wrestler of the Year just for that. But what other Stardom wrestlers do you want to see work with AEW, Ring of Honor, going into Forbidden Door season? Who do you think should be popping up in the next couple of months or so?
I think Tecla should show up.
I agree.
Tecla shows up in the Western, on AEW television. She's gonna get so over.
Yes,
I think so.
She just has to look the way she carries herself and stuff. So it's just I would love to see her sooner rather than later.
Yes, I do agree.
Over there, so
yeah, Tecla's someone that I've circled as she could be real prominent on in the next couple of months in the build, even if she doesn't necessarily have a big match on Forbidden Door, but she's such a good character to bridge the gap, because she's obviously, she speaks English so well, she speaks Japanese really well. She is someone that I would really utilize in this build and have come over and do a couple of AEW shows and stuff, because if that is something that I've struggled with Forbidden Door builds in the past. Obviously this is the first year that Stardom will presumably be involved, but even with between New Japan and AEW, there's not enough crossover in the build up. So hopefully that will be different this year with Mox being IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. But yeah, I think that Tecla is a really good option to have as being one of their crossover stars. And then Mina, Shirakawa, and Azumi, they've already been known to the AEW audiences. I would utilize them in the build as well. But going into Forbidden Door, who would you have Mercedes face? If she's going to have a big singles match on Forbidden Door, who should it be from Stardom?
That's interesting. I would love to see Tom Nakano face her. Just because I think that would be a crazy big match. I think, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I think that'd be so good. I think Tom would sell for her too. They would just be bumping so hard.
Yes.
Selling for each other so hard. I love that idea. I think that should happen.
Yes, I agree.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Yes, Tony Khan, please. Tam is, when I've seen this question floating around on Twitter, that Tam is the one that I've seen like really like pushed for it. Lexi, do you agree that it should be Tam, or do you have a different answer? Because I feel like we all kind of agree on this.
Yeah, I feel like Tam would be like a good one too. Like you said, like this is the one where it's like every time I see like, you know, the people doing like their imaginary Forbidden Door bookings and stuff for like Mercedes, that's like the one name that I always get seen. So like I feel like at this point it's like becoming like everyone's like dream match to see Mercedes and Tom, especially for Forbidden Door.
Yes. Yeah. It makes sense. It does make sense. Before we're going to go into Forbidden Door a little bit, I think, and talk about some of our dream matches, some of our fantasy bookings, see what we want to see, not just with Stardom, but with CMLL and New Japan as well. Jesus, completely forgot for a second, but I'm going to cover these couple of super chats first. The Bearded Baron, £2 super chat, thank you. Poi should win the red belt this year. Hashtag Poi Tribe.
So
you won't hear any arguments here.
I love that idea.
Yeah. She's cool. I like Poi a lot.
Yeah.
And then Chuck J, $5 super chat. Thank you. I do still love my Alexia, but love the work you ladies do. Big ups. I forgot about some of the characters in our chat. I was just like, what do you mean? And then I remembered.
No, because Chuck last time he was like, never mind, I want Anna or something about Anna. So I guess Chuck is
He's
Chuck.
Changed allegiances again.
Thanks, Chuck. We miss Anna. We love Anna, but
we do miss Anna, and I hope Anna is feeling well. I did see her in chat earlier, and I hope you're doing well, Anna. Love you lots. But Forbidden Door, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Because right now, the biggest title New Japan has, the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, is on one Jon Moxley of AEW. And from what I've seen and from what the New Japan roster have been saying in interviews and such, the young boys aren't too happy about it. So there's been some pushback from Yuya Uemura. I think Yosuji's had a lot to say. There's been a couple of other wrestlers that have had stuff to say. And thank God there is something to build around for this pay-per-view. Because I mentioned it on a previous podcast, and like the first Forbidden Door, it was your novelty. This was the first time something like this was happening in forever. Like it was like just a bit of a spectacle. And then the second Forbidden Door, it was built around the dream match. It was built around Omega, Ospreay, and Okada Danielson. So you needed a hook for this third show. All shows like this need a hook. And now you've got CMLL working with AEW. We've got Stardom working with AEW, and we have New Japan's biggest title not in New Japan right now. It's on an AEW wrestler. So I guess my question for you guys is how do you feel about Mox holding the title, first of all, Adriana?
At first I was against it, but I think that's because I love Naito and I know he probably doesn't have many title reigns in him, so it's sad to see it end like that. But you can't go wrong with putting it on Jon Moxley. So I'm not as against it as I was before. I think it's interesting that in the build-up we have it on an AEW guy, which is kind of crazy. But I don't know what the match is going to be for after Forbidden Door, but it's interesting. So yeah, I'm not too mad.
Yeah, what about you, Alexia?
What was the question again? Sorry, I'm like.
How do you feel about Mox being IWGP World Heavyweight Champion?
I like it. I wasn't expecting him to win, low key, because I know there was like a lot of people like were just like against it. I don't hate the idea. I think it's pretty cool because it's like when you think about it, it's like Mox has been. I like made a tweet about it like the other day. Like he's kind of like the key to the Forbidden Door. So having him like be the champ right now, kind of especially leading towards Forbidden Door, just kind of like him being able to go in Japan and like do a couple matches from over here, just kind of like build a momentum up towards a pay-per-view. It's pretty cool.
Yes, yeah. I was never like against it because of it's Jon Moxley, and I love seeing Jon Moxley do anything. But I think it is like, I think Naito's going to be the one that wins it back from him anyways. So it adds more dimension to Naito's journey as champion and like chasing the belt again without him having to put so much work into it. Because God bless the man, and I love Naito. I think he's an absolute legend of the business. His knees ain't what they were like even like 5 years ago. So having someone like Jon Moxley be a workhorse and rep this belt in America and Japan, like in the build up to the pay-per-view, I think it can only be a positive for New Japan. But I do get why some fans like have pushed back against it. Like it's been a bit of a rocky time for the company. So having the belt not there for like every date of the tour may not look great for the company. Like, I don't know. I think there's benefits and drawbacks of it, but going into Forbidden Door, I guess my question would be, who does he defend it against? Because there's so many options. There is so many options. Do you think they do, I guess, the obvious one and do the Shota Umino matchup?
That's what I was thinking. That's the only name that pops in my head now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It would make sense.
I was low-key, I would love for it to be like Mox and like Suji. I don't know how that would work, but like
I'd be for it.
I don't know. Cause it's like I feel like the shooter match, like I feel like that should be like on a New Japan show, you know, like a big one.
Wait, has that match been announced? Chat is I feel like I may have got that wrong. Because I know he's facing Ren Narita on the 3rd of May. The 11th of May. I'm wrong. It's the 11th of May. Is he facing Shota at Dontaku? Or am I making this up? Chat. Anshad, I do agree that he should face Zack Sabre Jr. at some point.
Yes.
Oh, Shota is getting the match on Resurgence. That's May 11th. So Ren's the match at Dontaku. Okay. Okay, so it won't be Shota Umino. Forbidden Door then. So scratch that. Yeah, I'm with Yota Tsuji then. Work his way through the Musketeers.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness.
Zack Sabre Jr. I love that man. I just need to get him for Forbidden Door and All In. Just as possible.
Yes, Zack Sabre Jr. should wrestle everyone, everywhere. He should wrestle Samoa Joe at All In. I don't know, I feel like he should do that match.
That's so good. I love that.
That's been him wrestling Samoa Joe has been my agenda ever since they did the storyline of Ring of Honor last year. And they just never culminated it. They never did the singles match. Like they did the tag match, and then they never did the singles match. But yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. loving my life. I am scared for who his All-In opponent is going to be. Because I spoke to Monty about this on the Dynamite review a couple of weeks ago. And I was just like, yeah. I was just like, damn, he's going to end up against Jericho.
No.
So let's hope not. Because, Jesus Christ, I do not want to see it. But, hey, man, Jericho got his Ospreay match. So nothing would surprise me. Nothing would surprise me. He's just going to choose a British wrestler every year and make me suffer for a Jericho match at All In. But anyways, I'm getting so off track. Forbidden Door, Moxley. Yota Tsuji, I think, is a very good choice as well. Yota Tsuji or Zack Sabre Jr. Damn. Both matches would be fire. But Zack Sabre Jr. is a TV champion right now, isn't he?
I think so.
I think so. Huh?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, because he just won it back from.
Won it back, yeah.
From Matt Riddle of all people.
Oh God.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm glad that he won the belt back. But maybe they'll do something out of left field. Maybe he'll wrestle someone that we're not expecting. I don't know who that would be.
I would wrestle a luchador. I don't care which luchador it is. Oh my God, that would be.
Could you imagine the online reaction if Jon Moxley wrestled a CMLL wrestler for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship on Forbidden Door?
God.
I kind of need it just for the chaos. He should wrestle Volador Jr. I've decided.
Volador Jr. Yes.
Oh my God, that would be something. That would be something if they did that, because of Forbidden Door is just after Dominion. So he might not even be champion then, realistically. He could lose the belt at Dominion. Whether he does or not, I don't know. I don't think he does. But it'll be interesting to see. But moving away from the main title, are there any other matches that you guys are interested in seeing at Forbidden Door?
Just any kind of matchup with like the CMLL guys, low key, like just I can't think of like honestly like I'm kind of blanking right now, but just because I know obviously we're gonna have that CMLL, New Japan AEW Forbidden Door thing, but like with the depth that each roster has, it's like
yes,
you can't really like pinpoint like who obviously will probably get like some like mystical match or like Volador Jr. or stuff like that, so it's kind of unexpected, but like I think it's like the exciting aspect part of it for me. It's like I don't know who they're gonna have in the card, but I'm just excited to see what the card is gonna be.
Yeah. There's a lot they could do with it, because obviously they did the CMLL invasion angle earlier this year, which it kind of culminated a little bit with Bryan Danielson versus Blue Panther in Arena Mexico, which is just crazy sentence to say in 2024. But maybe we see New Japan and CMLL link up and kind of try and take down AEW, because that could be an interesting way to look at it, because AEW's got its own brand of mischief going on right now with the AEW versus the Elite. So maybe we see the two teams within AEW trying to recruit guys from these companies, and that like playing into match storylines. I'm not sure how they're going to play it, because each company has like such like you said, there's so much depth in them, and there's so much going on storyline wise. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do and how they play into it. As long as Stephanie Bakir's there, though, I am happy, because she is an incredible wrestler. We do have one last super chat. Then I think if you guys are ready, that we'll wrap up and get out of here. So Abid Chowdhury, $5 super chat, thank you. I mainly tuned in because I wanted to see what people thought of Mayu versus Sareee, along with the Tuska noise. Sorry. Ended up staying longer. Had fun. Thanks. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate that. I hope that you enjoyed, because we have just kind of chatted like for the last about the last hour and 15. But yeah. Do you guys have anything else you want to get into before we get out of it?
I think I've been.
I want to say again, Natsupoi should win the white belt.
Yes.
That's
all. Cool. Incredible closing message. Right. Adriana, thank you for joining us today. It's been great to have your insight on Stardom and just honestly like learning and getting to chat about it, because as I've made very clear, I'm not an expert. So it was great having someone on that does know quite a lot about the promotion and that. Do you have any plugs? Where can people find you? What sort of stuff do you do in wrestling? Let them know.
My Twitter handle @CosmicAdri_. I have a blog called Heartbreak Wrestling, and I have a Stardom guide on there that is targeted at beginners. It has the faction members, the titles, the people in the factions, and like a little blurb around them. So if you're new to Stardom, maybe check that out. And
yeah, it is a really, really useful article, and I have read it a few times, like going through the program Queendom. And check out Adriana's other articles as well, because you're honestly an incredible writer, and I don't think you get enough credit for it. You do really great work.
Thank you.
Lexi, do you have any plugs?
Not really. I mean, just follow the Girls on Graps account if you guys want to keep updated with the next time we'll be going live, which I think will be next week. I'm not sure for sure, but we'll talk about that. But yeah, just follow the account so that way we'll keep you guys updated whenever we're going to be going live and what the next show is. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if there's another stream tonight. If Monty hasn't already tweeted out, then there probably won't be. You guys know our schedule by now. Tomorrow will be, today is Sunday, yeah. So tomorrow will be worldwide. They'll probably talk a bit about this pay-per-view. They'll probably talk about AEW a bit more in depth. Maybe a little bit about Raw. I don't know what they talk about on those shows most of the time. Tuesday will be the Raw review and Dumb Guy Live, where they will also do a breakdown of this show and probably have some more sufficient takes because Jamie and Parker are incredible at what they do, and they are very knowledgeable in Stardom. So if you were coming into this as a beginner and hearing our takes on it, definitely check out Dumb Guy Live as well, because they do an incredible job covering the shows on there. Wednesday, maybe news pod. Thursday, Dynamite review. Friday, whatever, sometimes a news pod. And I think that about covers it. So please like and subscribe if you haven't already. We really appreciate you guys being here. And once the stream ends, if you don't mind doing so, please leave a comment. It really does help with the algorithm. Tell us something you learned new today. Tell us your favourite wrestlers. Tell us your dreams matches for Forbidden Door. Or just say that you were here, whatever you fancy. But we'll maybe be back next week. Next week will be a little bit weird scheduling wise, so if we are live, it will be earlier in the day, but we'll keep you updated. But for now, we are done, and we will see you soon. Thanks for coming, Adriana.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.